Hello everyone, I'm going to go over these assignments with you. If we were in class and doing all of the Odyssey together, normally what we would do is we would read bits and pieces of the Odyssey that correspond with the film, and then we would analyze the text and then analyze the film and then do sort of a comparison. Because we're in distance learning, I decided to make it kind of more manageable, simplified, just so that you get the understanding. So it's in 3 parts because it is quite lengthy. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to read the Cyclops text, which I'll explain to you in a second. It's in the yellow. Then you're going to watch the entire movie, which is quite long, to be honest. It's a good 3 hours. So that's going to be assignment 6 and 7. That's in the green. And if you already have links or have access to YouTube resources, it's in there. And then finally, if you want, you can look at the Odyssey full text. It is very long. It's confusing in the fact that the text does not go in chronological order. It kind of goes from flashback to present day to flashback to present day. It goes back and forth between Ithaca and then Odysseus and wherever he is. So it is quite confusing in that way, which is why we also normally watch the movie with this, so it kind of clears up that confusion. So if you do choose to kind of skim through the text, you can kind of see why it's a little bit confusing. At least you kind of get used to some of the language, and you can kind of see how that would differ from the movie. So the very, very first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click on the link to the Cyclops text. This is from a textbook. I went ahead and I recorded myself reading it. So if you prefer it that way, you can certainly listen to it. I uploaded it to YouTube and I'll provide a link here. But if you just want to read it yourself, that's fine too. So to kind of summarize what has happened and why this is the most famous text is because this is the first long or extended kind of story. So Odysseus has these kind of long flashbacks that he goes into. So this is his first flashback that he recounts his journey. So for the first 10 years, he's fighting on Troy. And then when he's done fighting on Troy, he decides to start recounting how he made it home over the next 10 years. So the Cyclops picks up after the fighting in Troy. So this is his first journey or his first way in order to get home. So you're going to read that. And then you're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the bullets. So you're going to quote the description of the Cyclops as a supernatural being. The Cyclops is the son of Poseidon. He has one eye, so he is quite a supernatural being. He's also a cannibal, so he eats men. You are going to quote how Odysseus uses his physical strength and his intelligence. He needs both, and that is what is required of an epic hero, which again is why this one is so famous, because truly it shows that Odysseus needs both in order to stay alive. You are going to quote what he does to get revenge on the Cyclops, because what is happening is they are stuck in a cave, and the Cyclops is eating all of his men. Quite a problem. So finally, as you may know, or if you have not started the film yet, Odysseus is very prideful. That's a big problem. So part of the end of the Cyclops kind of goes over how and why Odysseus can't get home. You see, the Cyclops decides to curse him. So you're going to quote that part as well. Now, again, the movie is very, very long. It's a good 3 hours. So I went ahead and I broke it up for you. I gave you when that part of the movie stops by section. So if you're doing it by section, you can easily go back to the movie, rewatch that section, and then answer the questions. It is definitely PG-13. It was a TV movie in the 90s, so the effects are kind of funny. But there are parts of this movie that are very awkward, so just be aware of that. And then remember that your answers should not look exactly like some other of your peers. They should be a little bit different. So for part A, there is about 30 minutes that are not technically the Odyssey. This is the Iliad. The Iliad is the first book by Homer. The Odyssey would be the sequel. So the Iliad goes over how Odysseus became Odysseus. The first thing you're going to see is Odysseus running. His wife Penelope is pregnant with their only son, Telemachus. And then we have our kind of Lion King moment where Telemachus is born, Odysseus shows him the kingdom, and then immediately after, he is told that he has to go fight in the Trojan War. That takes 10 years. So the very first 30 minutes are dedicated to all those kind of ideas. You see Odysseus, you see his wife Penelope, Telemachus, Ithaca, his kingdom. You see him leaving for Troy, fighting on Troy, and that's where you're going to answer 1 through 4. For part B, it's about 13 minutes. So this is the Cyclops, what you already read. This is the visual of it. So this is what we would say is the technical start of the Odyssey. So again, it's one of the most widely used monsters. You have probably seen many versions of that one-eyed sun. So you're just answering 1, 2, and 3. Now this section is extremely long. It is extremely short in the text, but it's extremely long in the movie. So after he escapes the Cyclops, he has 3 different encounters with 3 different beings. So first we have Aeolus, who has a bag of wind, which you have also probably seen in SpongeBob. We have the enchantress Circe, who is an evil enchantress. And you have Tiresias, who is from the land of the dead, which you're going to see in the movie as well, of course. So that takes quite a long time, about 50 minutes or so. So just be aware that it is quite long. And then you're going to answer those 4 questions. And then it goes back and forth, kind of to show you Ithaca in Odysseus's absence, and it shows you what Odysseus is doing.